Hey guys, it's your girl Jay White. Welcome back to the Life of Jay White, and we are in the abundance playlist today. Y'all have, first of all, shout out to y'all. Y'all have been loving the little mini series that I got going on for Too Holy to Be Horny. It sounds like a lot of y'all are in the season I'm in, where you just waiting for your spouse. We'll say spouse, and your body is like, I'm ready for my spouse, but your life ain't looking like your spouse is here. It's okay. I love that. We are going to be dropping another video of that this week, so stay tuned in. But also check out these videos too. Like there is a wealth of wisdom that can come from my life. I promise. The Lord is using me. I am the example. Oh God, it's never fun. But hey, copy off my work. All right, so this week we are talking about, well, first of all, this month is all about becoming the vessel and being disciplined for the promise, right? And I think that's so good because this week specifically, I'm like, we're locking back in. Because May I bloomed. I popped out a little bit. I popped out the ground and was like, woo, the sun's out. And naturally, the buns were out. And I was outside. Not as much as normal, but definitely more than I was used to for my shutdown, like, because I shut down and I was inside. And then I kind of came outside last month and I just kind of stayed there. And then I started like doing things that I stopped doing. So I'm like, we're going to lock back in for June. We're going to lock back in. We're going to say no more often and just really get back on the solo date vibe, feeling my own energy and continuing to make my own connections. But we're going to sprinkle in the fun. We're going to balance it all a little better this month. Okay. So last month we focused on the healing and how you can't pour from an empty vessel. But once God heals you, the next question becomes, can you steward what he's about to send you? Okay, so most people think they need a bigger opportunity, but what they really need is a better system. Okay, so one of the biggest misconceptions about abundance is that we believe more is going to solve, having more of something is going to solve everything. More money, more clients, more opportunities, more visibility, just more, give me all that stuff, right? But if there's not structure in place, abundance can quickly overwhelm. So today we will be talking about the dream requires structure and overflow needs order. Okay, what to expect is why structure is a spiritual principle. Come on. How lack of systems can create unnecessary stress and why discipline protects what God is building. Oh, it's so perfect for me right now. This is so perfect. See, sometimes when I be behind, I really be on time because I'm in tune with the message, even though this was supposed to be posted last week. Okay. So, main topic, dreams, they require structure. So, this is why overflow needs order. Many people, they'll pray for the increase without praying for the wisdom, but B, without preparing for it. Okay. So, when you're getting all those opportunities and just all of that new stuff, it requires some type of organization. Like you are going to need even more structure to steward it responsibly. So like more responsibility means better systems, and more growth requires a stronger foundation, not just within yourself, but within who God's called you to be, like, and who your relationship with the Lord as well. So what God grows, you must be prepared to manage that as well. Okay. So why we resist the structure often feels restrictive because we confuse freedom with flexibility. Okay. And we'll rely on motivation instead of just being consistent, and then we'll underestimate the weight of the growth. Like discipline is not a punishment, it's preparation. I want to go back to confusing freedom with flexibility. So earlier we talked about like pouring, overpouring, giving from those places where we're exhausted and stuff. That was us being overly flexible. All right. And then we're looking for this sense of freedom where I can just do and say whatever I want, blah, 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 blah. But reality says that that's not, like, reality speaking, like you can do that. And there are people out here who have buku money and can do that. But like a lot of times you'll see those people, they're not happy. And a lot of that unhappiness comes from their inability to have a structure, a system, and just a means to doing things, like a good solid routine that keeps them filled up and keeps like, them pouring into themselves. So I really think we should be striving for the freedom of flexibility. Come on, the freedom of flexibility. That's cute. And it shouldn't be like over flexible where you're bending over backwards and, doing the most for everybody, but rather that you can adapt to your changes and your surroundings and you're able to maneuver around stuff flexibly, right? However, you can still like enjoy yourself, have fun along the way. But at the end of the day got to end. And when that day ends, you better have your to-do list checked off type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all get it. Okay. So this is the relationship between stewardship and structure. So throughout scripture, God like entrusts resources to people, gifts, talents, but he like gives those things to the people who can manage them. Like even the prophets, like they are good stewards of the words that God gives them because they, no matter what their circumstances are, they continue to like speak and they continue to tell the people and spread the word of the Lord. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen. And like these people be going through it. I'm talking in lions' dens, like getting laughed at by kids, over here getting sent to jail, tried, almost raped, like abused, slapped up, beheaded, all of that. But they're still doing what God called them to do. So structure allows you to sustain that growth and reduce the chaos. And it also creates that consistency and it makes the room for multiplication. So abundance without order, it becomes stress. And honestly, even financially, like just imagine having so much money, right? Everybody like, because I feel like financially is really where people be like, oh Lord, just send me money, send me money. If I had money, if I had more, I know I was saying that if I just had more money, I would be able to do X, Y, and Z. But I feel like that's the reason why a lot of God's children, they'll go through seasons without having a lot. So that way they learn how to manage their finances. So that way when the a lot comes, they're already moving as though they had it, if that makes sense. And they're not overspending, they're not underspending, they're doing exactly what they need to do with their bread. And now that the more is coming in, they know how to put some aside for the fun and save. And they understand, okay, rainy days gonna come, I need to, stack my money up type stuff. But you only get that type of, oh, sorry, y'all, my face itchy. But you only get that type of lesson when you go through seasons where you don't have enough and you have to like segment out, okay, I'm gonna put this here, put that there, do this with that and all of that. Like that's the only way you learn those lessons. You don't come out the gate knowing that, especially if you don't have people in your life who've taught you those things or who even know those things for themselves. You literally have to learn that on the go. So I feel like that's why a lot of us go through those seasons where we don't have a lot, because I still don't feel like I have enough as far as like finances are concerned. I don't feel like I have enough to maintain my lifestyle, but I'm still maintaining my lifestyle because A, God gives me grace, mercy, favor, all of those things. But B, I am learning on the go how to steward the finances I do have in order to maintain my lifestyle. My rent still gets paid. My car note gets paid. All of my like important, my phone bill is now something I pay for myself. It's getting paid. Like these are things that I do, even if I have to get on payment plans and make arrangements with the companies that, want the money. Like I still make sure I'm stewarding the expenses well and getting those things knocked out and out the way. And like I'm in a place now where there was a time where my freezer was empty, my fridge stayed empty. Like I will always have just enough food every 2 weeks. I don't even have to buy groceries every 2 weeks now. But that's the blessing of learning how to steward your money. And like I be having money left over after I pay my bills now. That is the lesson of learning how to steward your money. Like eventually the abundance will start coming in little by little and you're already moving like a boss in your mind because you went through those seasons of lack, if that makes sense. So again, abundance without the order, that's going to become stressful. So in our scripture, yeah, that's right. It was a step away this time. I'm doing better. Our scriptural anchors are going to come from, the first one's coming from Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. And yes, it's called Habakkuk. Habakkuk. That's how you say it. Not Habakkuk. Habakkuk. Okay. And that is page 559. But it is write down the vision and make it plain upon tablets so that the next man can pick it up and see it. But we just gonna read it directly from the good book because, I don't want to mince my words. I do not want to mince my words. Okay, chapter 2, verse 2 says, Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. Period. So you have to make it clear. Like, write down the message. Okay, Luke chapter 14, verse 28. If you're not hip, Luke is the next book that we will be going into after we wrap up Isaiah. And for Isaiah, we are actually in my baptism. We're starting my baptism chapter today. So everybody, if you are not in my, oh Lord, what did it say? Yeah, if you're not in my broadcast channel on social media, on Instagram, please get in there, because we're about to hit, like, we're starting with chapter 43, and my baptism verse is chapter 43, verse 19. Well, 18 and 19. So we're about to hit that, and that's very special to me and close to my heart. So we got to make sure y'all are in there to see that, because it's going to be a beautiful moment. I just know the Lord going to do something tonight. Let's see. Chapter 14, verse 28 says, but don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it? Ooh, come on. Don't spend money you don't have. Like, that's that. Do not spend the money that you do not have, because that is craziness if I've ever seen it. Like, that's wild work right there. Don't spend money you don't have. Sorry, y'all. I got to make sure I keep my finger on Isaiah. And then the last one is the 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40, which is page 685. Good thing we did not get our finger off of Luke. So yeah, join that broadcast channel. And 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. Ooh, 40 verses and 14. Noted. And it says, be sure that everything is done properly and in order. Okay, period. Come on, properly and in order. All right. So that's the scriptures for today. Now, time to get into this practical application, because you need to ask yourself, where is chaos creating unnecessary pressure? I really feel like for most people, if you be having a chaotic weekend, you be so stressed out and tired. As soon as you get a little pocket change, you out at the Walmart getting you a bottle of wine, or you down the street at the plug's house getting your treat, or you at the brunch at the bar ordering your tequila sunrise or whatever you be getting, and your tequila pineapples and your French 75s, and then all of a sudden it's Monday and you did too much because you was stressed out and you just needed to unwind with your friends. But like, whole time you should have been unwinding with the Lord. It's okay. I be doing it too. It's fine. That's why I said it exactly like that, because we already know. Be getting your espresso martinis and all of a sudden you don't have gas money to go to work. Chaos, creating unnecessary pressure. What area of my life needs a system? Your money. I know it's money. It's always money. You know, another area that needs a system, your routines. What do you do every day? Do you come home, crack open a bottle of wine because you've been so stressed out and everything got you stressed out, so you need something to cope with the stress instead of going to God to cope with the stress? Because he gives you rest and peace for free. What area of your life needs a system? What blessing am I asking for that I'm not prepared to manage? Money. I love y'all. That's why I'm telling you the truth. You probably not ready for the riches. You ready for the rags to riches story, but you still living like you want to be in a rag. Get out of that scarcity mindset and actually start stewarding the things that you do have very well. Be grateful for every single thing that you have. Yes, it would be fantastic if we were all millionaires. But guess what? If everyone's a millionaire, no one is. So guess what? You got to do the work. Steward. Okay? This week, I want you to create one system. You have to choose one area, either finances, your business, content creation, health, spiritual life, wellness, whatever it is, one area. Build a simple, repeatable process. Me, I record these videos before I go to work. That simple. I wake up, get dressed, do all of the things. I'm in front of this camera. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, those are the days I typically do it. Sometimes I might get a wild hair and do it on Monday if I have to. But for the most part, that's what I do. My podcast, I record those at night. Right before I go to bed, right after I'm done with the broadcast channel. That's when I'm recording my podcast. And typically it's on Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe Monday. But that's what we're doing. Oh, and this week it's going to be 2 this week because last week I actually ended up having to skip because I got overwhelmed and I allowed chaos to disrupt my system. See how that works? Bam. Okay. And then you need to replace motivation with consistency. And I'm going to tell you the T. Like, you got to stop asking yourself if you feel like it and start asking yourself, like, what's the next faithful step? So with me, with the content, I've been the most consistent with it than I've ever been. Like, I've been posting consistently on Instagram 11 weeks in a row. I've been posting consistently on YouTube at also 11 weeks in a row. Like, it has been 11 weeks of me consistently doing this. And now I'm motivated to do it because of the consistency. I actually don't want to lose my streak. Now it's bigger than me. Now I have a streak and I can't lose that. I got to keep that. And we're already on episodes 7 and 8 for the podcast. Like, so that's 7-8 weeks of me consistently posting my podcast. No, it's not on the day that I have scheduled for my podcast because normally it's supposed to be on Saturdays, but it's been given Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's just what it's been given. And that's another thing. If you set a day or a thing for yourself and you don't hit the mark exactly, that's okay. Keep going. That's your natural rhythm now. That's your new natural rhythm. And you just got to go with it. Like, sometimes you think, oh, this would be good to do it this day. And then your body or life or the Holy Spirit just guides you to do it a different day. So just do it the different day. Like, you don't have to be perfect. Don't focus on hitting the mark perfectly. Focus on hitting, like, aiming for the target every week. You keep throwing. Keep going. Like, keep throwing the shots. Keep throwing the darts. Like, and you'll hit a bullseye. The dart will move over to the bullseye the more you hit it. The more you shoot, you're going to get that chest range. Like, you just got to keep shooting. Okay? Don't stop. Don't let up. Because the devil ain't letting up on you. So again, ask yourself, what's the next faithful step? It's not about if you feel like it. What's the next faithful step? How can I steward this? I said I was doing this. Did I do something to help me do this? Very simple. Okay? So the dream doesn't require faith alone. It needs structure because abundance without order becomes chaos. So drop one area of your life where you're creating more structure this month. For me, it's a routine thing. And next video, we will be talking about being disciplined for the promise and how God will only grow what you steward because faith requires responsibility. So like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all next time. And then episode 3 of the mini series will be dropping this week. I'm excited because y'all are excited. Y'all really love those videos and I really love that y'all love it. So it's lit. Have a good day. Bye.